Good afternoon, it's Kirsten here for a Thursday spa business break where we're talking about your spa business. So I have been on a bandwagon about marketing for you, and that's because typically in our industry, most of you are pretty busy in the summer, but we know that come September and especially October, we can see a real big dip in sales because that's just kind of par for the course, especially if you're a spa with like a full service spa. Pedicures and waxing are super busy, but we notice a real dip in client bookings in the fall. So I've purposely planned all of my Facebook Lives, all of my content this summer to be to support you with your marketing. So if you haven't watched any of the other lives, after this one, go back and watch them if you're needing support with your marketing, because there's lots of really great nuggets in there. So today I want to talk about, well, last week I was talking about if you're only using social media as your primary way of communicating in your marketing, it's a huge mistake because you're putting all your eggs in one basket. And social media platforms, you have no control over those. You've seen it, you may have already experienced it, whether you've had your account hacked or it just disappears or features disappear. So you have very, very limited control when you're marketing on social media. So my point was, make sure that you're considering putting some of your marketing eggs in other baskets in order to make sure that you are communicating across multiple platforms. Because think about how big businesses do their marketing. They don't just do social media, they have multi-platforms, and there's a reason for it. It's because not everybody's gonna see your one social media post. They're likely not even gonna see two of your social media posts back to back. And that is because if you're relying on organic reach, that means unpaid reach in social media, you just don't really get many of your followers seeing your stuff. So today I want to really dive into making sure that you understand that you want to include other marketing systems in your overarching marketing system, all right? So you have kind of this big picture of your marketing, but underneath it, you have multiple platforms that you want to share your message across, all right? So today's topic is really diving into those 5 different marketing systems and how you can implement in each one of them. All right. Before I get into that, I want to preface this conversation with, I get that most of you spa owners are thinking, I only have time for social media. I am so busy. I don't have time to do email marketing. I don't have time to update my website. And what I'm going to say to you is, if you need clients, you may have to do some thinking about what your priorities are in the admin work that you are doing. Because if you need new clients and you are super busy, something isn't jiving right there, all right? So whether it is just prioritizing your time properly, maybe you need some time management support that way. Maybe this Facebook Live information will help you understand that the overarching marketing strategy that you need includes 5 other systems, okay? So first I want to talk about the fact that you probably feel like, I don't have time, to add other systems. I hear this all the time. And I want to give you a few little steps to help make it easier, because sometimes I think it's just a little bit, sometimes it's like a time management organizational issue. And once that gets solved, then it makes it easier to add to the rest of your systems, okay? So the first thing I want you to do when you are wanting to create, if you're trying to, okay, I want to do some email marketing, okay, I want to do some social media marketing. The first thing I want you to do before you look for any images first, to do a post, before you write an email, I want you to do this first. Sit down, block off some time for admin time. For sure, do not do this in between clients. Huge mistake, because you're context switching. You're all over the place. You just got out of a client. Now you're just trying to do some marketing. No. Do yourself a huge favor. Block out some time on your admin day. Block out an hour even, okay? So the first thing you want to do is open a Word doc. Whether it's a Google Doc or a Word doc, doesn't really matter, pages. Open a Word doc and label it marketing strategy, okay? This will be a working document for you that you will use over and over and over. Now, I want to also share with you, this is the exact same way that we create strategy for our social media management clients, and also what I teach for my private coaching clients, because this is how we create marketing strategy. Then we distill it down into the different platforms. Open up your doc, and the first thing that you're going to type in there is, let's say we're doing this for September. You type September strategy. Underneath that, what is your September feature? Now, it doesn't have to be something on sale. You don't have to discount it. You don't have to do a value add if you don't want to. If you just want to spotlight something, that's totally okay as well, all right? Whatever it is, create your feature. And it doesn't have to sound really pretty right out of the gate. Just do bullet points. What is it? Is it a service? Is it a product? Let's just go with the service. So you want the service feature name, the service name. You want to have the service description. You want to have ideal client. And then you also want a product pairing to go with that feature. So you're just doing this in bullet points first. You're just kind of gathering the idea together. The next thing you want to do, once you've got that information on the service description, what's included, what they get, the features, the benefits, because really clients only care about the benefits, like what does it do for them? All right, so once you have that kind of main little core piece of information, that is going to become your marketing message. And you're going to be able to repurpose that information across multiple channels, all right? The next thing you can do is you want to pick a featured image. So like some of the big brands do, they often have one image or multiple images that were from the same photo shoot, and they use those repeatedly in all their marketing for that particular feature, whatever they're doing. So do the same thing. Find yourself a featured image. Stock photography, that's fine. If you have some from your photo shoot, that would be even better, but pick a featured image, because you're going to use that image in different ways across multiple platforms. All right, now that I've prepped you up a little bit, once you've got that, bullet points of what you're actually going to be marketing, then you've got your featured image. Now, the next part is where it gets easier, because you can take that information and repurpose it across multiple channels. You don't have to come up with anything new, okay? Don't reinvent the wheel. So you're going to take those bullet points and turn them into sentences, and you don't necessarily want to repeat the exact same sentences over and over, but you take that information and you can repurpose them into different sentences or paragraphs, okay? Different wording, saying it just slightly differently. All right, what are the 5 core marketing systems that I want you to be focusing on your business? Once you've got that feature figured out, how should you be communicating it? All right, we've got your website. So with your featured image, where should it go? You want to have it on your homepage, so that you're swapping that out every month or every season, if that's what you've decided to do for your marketing features. You also want to have a bit of your copy there as far as what is this feature about, who's it for, ideal client, what are the features, what exactly is what's in the service, and what are the benefits? What are they going to feel like afterwards? What are they going to experience after? All right, so you want to have that on your homepage, or if you have a specials page, you want it on that page. You can double it up if you have both. The next platform that you want to repeat and repurpose your marketing message is with email. Now, ideally, I want you to be sending out email twice a month. Here's the reason why. Because if the only time we're ever sending email out, it's promotional, your clients get kind of bored of that. So if you are at least giving one email that's a bit more promotional at the beginning of the month, communicating your feature, having a book now button, then your second email, you want it to be more educational or inspiring, or just informational. Maybe there's a bunch of new things happening at your facility and you just want to communicate it. So ideally 2 emails a month, all right? And you also, I already mentioned that you want a book now button, but in that first promotional email, you want to make sure you have some sort of call to action, a CTA. and that would be your book now button, or hit reply and we'll schedule it for you, however you want to do that call to action. All right, third system in your marketing is social media. Now we're all super familiar with it. Here we are on Facebook. But here's the thing, if you aren't already familiar with posting frequency, you need to be posting a minimum 3 times a week, like bare minimum. That's even then, you're going to need to augment with Instagram stories or Facebook stories. But if you are posting less than 2 days a week, the algorithms are not favoring you. It's very, very difficult to get organic reach right now. It was pretty good with Instagram for a while. I knew we were riding a wave that was going to be coming to an end. And over the past couple of months, we've seen a huge decrease in Instagram engagement and reach. And that is because Instagram is doing lots of work behind the scenes, and social media managers around the world are suspecting that they're getting ready to monetize it in kind of how Facebook did with our Facebook pages a few years ago. So, with posting frequency, if you're like, oh yeah, I kind of do it on the fly a couple times a week, maybe if one, that's not good enough. You need to up your game. If you want more clients, you have to up your game. What got you here, the behaviors that got you here, is not going to get you to where you want to be. So, yes, I know maybe marketing and doing posts is not your favorite thing to do, but you have to decide what's more important. I need clients. I don't really like doing social media. I need clients more, all right? Sometimes this is just a decision. To help you with your social media management, I recommend using a platform like Planoly or Later. My team and I, for our agency part of the business, we use later.com. It makes things so much easier. We can my social media managers, they can source out all the content, upload it all at once into Later, do all the copy, they even have a feed preview for Instagram, so you can move your posts around to get a nice visually aesthetically pleasing feed design. And the beauty of it is that when you batch content like that, it goes much quicker than if you're just trying to think up posts on the fly, or I don't know. A, it's a total brain drain. B, it's just a waste of time. So block off time and batch it. Now, with your social media management, with your promotional posts, you want to keep that to 20% of your posts. So, just because you have a feature, should not be the only thing that you're sharing. If you're doing that, it just comes across as too spammy and salesy, and the algorithms do not like that. They pick up pieces of information in your post, and if they have too many, book now, call now, then your ranking goes down again. So that means that you need to have 80% of your posts as educational or inspirational or entertaining, and only 20% of them as promotional. But now that you have created that little marketing message, you now have some really quick, easy ways to create a couple of promotional posts, right? So much easier. All right, number 4 platform and system that you need to include in your overarching marketing strategy are your in-spa conversations. This is a huge place that I personally saw a huge difference when I had my team, and even when I was on solo. When we created the intention to have 80% of our conversations about spa business, like whatever's happening in the industry, what you see on the internet, crazy stuff, things people do, just keep the conversation on spa, because it makes it so much easier to talk about what we've got going on in the spa this month or this season. It makes it easier to discuss those things, not feeling like we've been talking personal the whole time and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm supposed to tell them about this feature. Or you just simply forget to tell them. That happens all the time. So there is a huge amount of power in your in-spa conversations. This is about deciding how you are going to manage those conversations. All right, so it's a system. It's another marketing system. So when we have systems, when we have the right system, it creates repeatable results, and it creates the repeatable results that we want rather than the repeatable results that we don't want, right? So if you have a team, I want you to be having a short little staff meeting about what's coming up for the feature for next month, to make sure they understand what it is, how much it is, what are the features, what are the benefits, who is the ideal client for this particular service, so that when they come to those in-spa conversations, they're just being communicated. It's not a big deal. Okay. All right. Number 5, the last marketing system that you should be including is networking. All right. Please don't want to slap me. I know you guys hate networking, but I find it really ironic because networking is really just about meeting new people. Don't you meet new people all the time in your business? Aren't you excited to have them come in and share what you do? Bring that energy into networking. I think the term networking just kind of triggers a lot of people. When I'm talking about networking, yes, I'm talking about, some official networking events, and you have to definitely try a few out to make sure you find a group that actually works for you. I've been in networking groups before, and they started off really great, and then it kind of morphed, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not really in alignment with this anymore, and I've left because it just really wasn't working for me. That's okay too, but sometimes you just have to kind of move around and figure out which ones work for you. The other piece I want to share about this is that it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to official networking events to network. When I first moved here to Victoria, BC, I moved from Vancouver and moved to a new town, didn't know anybody, and I opened up my studio, not knowing a soul. Well, I knew my sister and my mom here, so I had a little bit of help. But I really built up most of my business actually through my sister's boot camp. She started running a boot camp. I just met people at boot camp, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's dark and we're all working out, and eventually we share things about each other, and I shared that I was an esthetician. I have my own studio, and people started asking for my card. So, it was just this natural sharing of information. The other way I built up my clientele was at school, at pick up and drop off when my son was little. There's always a little bit of time before kids come out, and of course we chit chat a little bit, and people would ask about what I do, kind of how people get to know each other. And again, I ended up having a huge amount of long-term clients that I had met through school. I even ended up getting a lot of teachers and school board employees. It was really cool, but that was all through networking. It wasn't that icky networking. I was just meeting new people and sharing what I did. And I built a very, very strong clientele with that. So I just want to maybe put that little bug in your brain that networking doesn't have to be icky. Networking doesn't have to actually be about going to these big events either, all right? But it's really just about making connections. You are very, very good at that. So I hope that gives you just a little bit of a confidence boost as far as that goes. All right, so we've got the 5 different marketing systems: your website, email, social media, in-spa conversations, and networking, all underneath the main umbrella of your marketing system. All right. So maybe you're a little surprised that, all of those pieces should be under your marketing umbrella. Maybe you are feeling like, no, I definitely don't have time to add any more platforms. But I'm gonna suggest that you do have time, that there may be situations that you're choosing to do other things with your time, maybe sitting on the couch watching Netflix. Maybe there's other things that you could be choosing to do rather than sitting watching Netflix. You could be working on your marketing. I know it's probably not the most fun thing for you, but here we go again. If you need clients, you need visibility. If you need visibility, you need to market. So either you do the work in your marketing or you don't do the work in your marketing. Now, if you choose not to do the work in your marketing and outsource it, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. But if you're choosing just not to do your marketing because you don't really like it or want to do it, it's a choice, right? You can't complain about not having enough clients. So a little bit of tough love there, peeps. Sometimes you're going to need it. I'll give it to you. But I know that you're capable of pulling it together and making this work if you really want to. Okay, if you need any support with your marketing, that is what I'm here for. That is what my team is here for. I got feedback from a client who said they went on vacation and they were just thanking us profusely because they actually hadn't been able to take a vacation before and not worry about their marketing. So that was a win in my books for sure. It was definitely a win in her books. All right, thanks for joining me for today's Thursday Spa Business Break, all about marketing and about the systems that you want to include in your overarching marketing system. And I will be here next Thursday, same time, same place. See you then.